Hello everyone and welcome to today's video, which I am super excited for because it'll be the best and worst of all $1 makeup, all the things I purchased myself from shopmissa.com, and I am super excited just to go through everything with you all because there are some gems in here and there's some really good stuff. So before we get into the video, I do want to mention that I'll be dropping some links down in the description box to help with the various causes, getting justice for many different people, petitions, places you can donate, and all that fun stuff. And without further ado, let's get right into this video. So I was trying to figure out how I wanted to lay this video out because I got a bunch of makeup and a bunch of brushes. So I was like, should I do makeup first, brushes first? Should I start with what's bad, what's good, so on and so forth? So I don't want to start this on like a negative tone, but to be honest with you, there's not many products that I actually didn't like. So I figured I would actually start with the products I don't like, then go into the products that are like kind of go into the products I love, and then finish it off with brushes. So there's actually only 3 products I really didn't like. First up is the AOA Studio Sculpt FX Contour Stick, and this is in the shade Sunkiss. So first up, the shade didn't really work for me. It swatches a lot warmer, but I feel like when I applied it to my skin, it was like way too cool toned. I know it is a contour stick, but I kind of like more to cream bronze, and when I'm actually contouring, I like powder contours. I don't really like cream gray undertone contour. So I thought it was a little strange that this shade swatched on me pretty warm, but then when I applied it to my face and blended it out, it had like this just strange undertone that didn't work for me. But besides the color, the real reason I didn't like this is because it just blended out super patchy. It blended out okay on my cheeks, but on my forehead, it was like a mess. It was like a patch of darkness here, a patch here where you didn't really like see much. So overall, this product just isn't really the best formulation in my opinion. And again, it was just pretty patchy and overall just did not work. Next up, we have the AOA Studio Dewy Cream Highlighter in the shade Dream. Okay, so I don't want to be mean, but this formulation is just horrible. The formula is terrible. I could even tell when I just swatched it on my hand when I first got it, I wasn't going to like this. I love cream highlighters. I think in general, cream highlighters just look so natural on the skin, but cream highlighters are definitely one of those products that are going to be a hit or miss in terms of formulation. This is definitely a miss. It's nice and creamy, but when it applies to the cheek, it's super patchy. And you know when highlighters almost just look gray on your skin and they just don't show up correctly? I don't really think it has anything to do with my skin tone. I think it's really just the formulation of this totally didn't work. Again, patchy, blended out, super weird. Didn't really do much even on the skin. So yeah, this is definitely a pass. The last item I have here that I didn't like was the Paw Liquid Concealer. So one thing I want to bring up about this real quick is that this is actually not $1, this is $1.55. So they have 2 charity lines. The first one is Paw and the other one is A+. And those products are about $1.55 to $1.85, I believe is the most expensive one. And the extra 55 to 88 cents go to charitable organizations. So for the Paw line, they partner with organizations that help protect animals. And for the A+ line, they partner with organizations that help support children's education, which is super awesome. But back to the concealer, the reason I didn't like this, I actually, upon first application, I did like it. I was pretty pleased with it. It's a good medium to full coverage, but it just made my under eyes look very dry. Like when I was blending it out, it looked good, but after like a minute of sort of sitting on the skin, it just looked very dry. And I used this a few times with setting it, without setting it. When I didn't set it, it was a mess, it creased, it moved around, so I definitely needed to set it with a powder. And again, when I set it with a powder, it just overall just looked really dry. And I do have decently dry under eyes. They're not super dry, but they definitely are on the drier side, and this didn't work for me. But if you don't have dry under eyes, I definitely think you can give this a try, and this may work better for you. So next up, I have a few products that are just okay. Not bad, not amazing, but you know, just right in the middle. So first up, I have their lip liner. This is the AOA Studio Wonder Lip Liner. I have the shade Bombshell. So the main reason I didn't like this is actually because of the shade. The swatches online of the products, they're not that accurate, to be honest with you. I thought this would be like a good brownish nude, and it's more of like a really warm toned orange. Like the swatch doesn't look orange, but on my lips it literally is like a warm brown orange on my lips. As far as the formulation is alright. It's kind of like the NYX lip liners, but honestly it just feels cheaper. I mean, it is cheaper. This is only $1. So I feel like with this product, it's okay. It's, you know, it's not good, but it's not amazing. And you kind of just get what you pay for with this product, if that makes sense. Next up is kind of like the same thought as the lip liner. This is their lipstick, and I have the shade Shore. So with this lipstick, I actually do really like the shade. It's like really nice pinky nude with sort of like a red undertone. It's not like super brown or anything like that, but with this I kind of feel the same way with the lip liner, whereas you kind of get what you pay for. This feels like a $1 lipstick. It's not super luxe. The formula is okay. My issue with the formula is that it's a type of lipstick. It's not sheer, it's not opaque, and it doesn't add enough color to the lips where it sort of coats the lips fully. Like you can see my natural lip color underneath, and when you put this on you can totally see like any dryness you have, cracks on your lips, anything like that. It doesn't necessarily, I don't want to say it accentuates it, because it doesn't, but it doesn't really help it out. So this for me kind of would be a pass. Again, I don't hate it. Next up, I have the AOA Studio Wonder Baked Eyeshadow. Again, it's another product. This is in the shade Gatsby. It actually swatches really beautifully on the hand. The issue I have with this is that, now I know it is baked, but it's just not really that creamy of a formula. Another issue is that it has big chunks of glitter, and when you sort of swatch on your hand you don't really see that, but then when you apply it to your eyes you get like the chunks falling out. Not all of it falling out, but just these really big chunks of individual glitters falling out. So again, this is okay. Not really sure if I would necessarily recommend this. I'm wearing it right underneath here, so I'm wearing a different liner, so it's not that. It's right here underneath. It's alright, it's nothing special. Wouldn't really say I really love this or would recommend it, because there's honestly much better options, which I'll get into. Next up, I have the AOA Studio Perfect Finishing Pressed Powder, and I have it in the translucent shade. I was actually surprised by this. I thought that I really wouldn't like this, and I think this is pretty okay. It's really good for setting all over the face. The thing is that when you set it with a big fluffy brush, you will see the powder on your face. So what you really have to do is stamp the powder in, or go in back with a beauty blender and really get that powder in there, and then you won't be able to detect it on your face at all. So this is pretty good. The only issue I have with this is that it has talc in it. Listen, I knew that when I purchased it, but I did want to get a face powder just to see how it worked. That being said, I kind of have a sensitivity to talc. Underneath my eyes, it causes milia. If you're not sensitive to talc or anything like that, I actually would recommend this. It's pretty good. It's probably better for people who are more like combination to oily skin, because if you're really dry, this may kind of show up and make your skin just a tiny bit drier. But again, it looks really nice and seamless when blended in with a beauty blender or really pushed in with the brush. Okay, so now we can move into all the makeup I have been loving, and we're gonna start strong. The next product is definitely probably one of my favorite. I have a top 3, which I'll get into, so this is definitely in the top 3. This is their AOA Studio A+ Buildable Satin Foundation, and I'm obsessed with this stuff. This is an amazing foundation. This is $1.88. This is the A+ Charity Edition. Again, A+ Charity Edition, they take that 88 cents and they donate it to organizations that help students. So anyways, where do I start with this? It's called a buildable satin foundation. So let me start with that. Definitely true, 100%. Definitely buildable. I would say it's a solid medium coverage, but again, it can be buildable to full coverage. It's a definitely satin, natural finish on the skin. Dries fully down, so you don't even, I mean, I didn't set my face with a powder at all. I only set areas that I did my cream bronzer on, and it's not sticky. It looks amazing. It doesn't cling to any of my dry patches on my chin. It wears all day. Today, I'm using the shade Soft Tan All Over, and the last few times I wore this, I want to say I wore it for like 10 to 12 hours straight, and it looked incredible. By the end of the day, it looked incredible. Now, the first time I used this, I did not use any primer, any setting spray, because I really wanted to test how the foundation was with just my skin, and I do that with all foundations. I really want to test them how they are, and then I'll incorporate a primer or setting spray to sort of change it how I want. And what I will say is that when I didn't use a primer, I did have a little bit by the end of the day, it was breaking up on my chin, on my dry area. But when I used my Laneige Glowy Makeup Serum Primer, which I love, on days that I used that primer, I used it for 12 hours and it didn't break up at all. If you do have certain issues like getting oily, makeup breaking up, so on and so forth, I definitely recommend a primer. But on their own, they are beautiful. Again, lasts all day, medium coverage, buildable, natural, beautiful finish. One thing I will say is that these do have very strong fragrance. It's not like Huda Beauty foundation level fragrance. It's not that strong, but it's decently strong if you're sensitive to fragrances. I'm not usually sensitive to fragrances. This doesn't bother me. Once you put it on the skin, it goes away. I can't smell it or anything, but it smells like YSL foundations. Like it smells like a high-end foundation. I can't put my finger on it, but it smells, I think it smells like the YSL All Hours foundation is what I'm thinking. Anyways, that's really the only downfall I find. I also find that, like I said with the lip liners, the swatches on their website are not really that accurate. So I recommend if you're gonna get any of their foundations, you should definitely get a few shades. Soft Tan is a pretty good match. It oxidizes a little bit to be a little bit more yellow. So that's also another thing. These do oxidize just a little bit. So like I said, I would definitely get a few shades of these just to make sure you find yourself like that perfect shade match, whether it be one shade or whether you have to mix a few. Next up, I have the AOA Studio Pro Wear Full Coverage Foundation from their Paw Paw line. I believe this foundation is $1.50. So this foundation, it has on here shake well, which reminds me for this foundation as well, both of them, you have to shake these extremely well before you use them, just a heads up. But let's get into this foundation. So this is a full coverage foundation, and on the website, it says it gives you a soft matte finish. Kind of true. So what I'll say is that this is full coverage. Like, damn, you are getting that full coverage. It's a cream consistency. It's very similar to the Huda Beauty foundation, where it's that same cream, thicker consistency, and you got that full coverage. That being said, I don't really think it's a soft matte finish. I think it's more, I want to say natural, almost going like dewy, definitely natural on me. I don't know why. I am combination skin, and after like 4 or 5 hours of wearing this, I was like super shiny. So I tried this 3 times. The first time I tried it without any primer, no setting spray. I wore it for about like 5 hours, and the second and third time I used both a primer, a setting spray, and I used a setting powder. So the first time I used this, after like 4 or 5 hours, by the end of it, when I took it off, very shiny. I looked oily kind of from this. That being said, the second and third time I wore it, a setting powder definitely helps. I think if you get oily at all, whether you're a combination to oily, you should definitely set this down with a powder and you'll be good. Like I said, full coverage foundation, definitely lasts the whole day. Even when I didn't wear a primer with it or anything, it didn't snag onto any of my dry spots. It didn't accentuate texture, nothing like that. It was super beautiful on the skin. The only thing with this, again, if you have oily skin, definitely set this. I think this would probably work for all skin types. And yeah, I really like this one. I will say that this one I do like better. It's thinner and just easier to use and easier to sort of apply. And it definitely lasts longer. I will say when I wore this for like 10 to 12 hours, by the end of it, even with like setting it and everything, it did break up a little bit. Not too much. It definitely broke up a little bit on my chin and over here, which is kind of normal, but I just wanted to sort of like make that known that I definitely like this one better. This is an outstanding foundation, and this one definitely lasts longer. Next up is definitely my #1 product from this brand. These are the AOA Studio Buttercream Gel Liner and Shadows, and I have 2 shades. The brown shade is called Java Chip, and that gorgeous blue shade is called Cupcake, and I am just obsessed. So I'm wearing both on my eyes. I'll bring you closer to see what I did. So here I am, up close and personal. So as you can see here, I used Java Chip all over my lid today, and then I put Cupcake right in my waterline. These are just beautiful, but let me zoom you guys out and I will keep talking about these. All right, so first up, these are awesome as both liners and gel eyeshadows. These are incredible. The fact that this is $1 is insane to me. Like, this product is so high quality and performs so incredibly. I would definitely pay like 20 something to $30 for these, seriously, because that's how good they are. That's how good they perform. They're amazing. I've tried them as both shadows. You can see them as a shadow. I've tried them as upper wing liner in my waterline, everything. They do not fade. They do not move. They last all day. As eyeshadows, they do not crease at all. They are just incredible. There's so many gorgeous, gorgeous shades. And I really like that you can kind of build them up, or you can make them a little bit more sheer. So as you see here, the swatch of Java Chip, it's much darker than what's on my lid. I put only a little bit on my lid and I didn't really build it up because I didn't want it to be too intense. I definitely wanted it to be dark, but not too intense, if that makes sense. So you can actually sheer these out quite a bit too, so you can kind of play with whether you want them to be really opaque or really sheer, so on and so forth. These are just incredible. I don't even know what else to say about these besides the fact that I already put in an order for like every other shade that they make because the shades are beautiful, the formulation is incredible. I just don't have any bad things to say about this. Seriously, this product is incredible. And if you're gonna buy one thing from this video, I definitely recommend these because they are just gorgeous, outstanding, beautiful, amazing, everything. Next up, I have their cream blush. This one is seriously so beautiful, and I have it in the shade Passion. This color is so beautiful. It's almost like a hot pink, but with a coral undertone, and I love this. I'm wearing it today. It applies super well. It blends out like a dream. It literally lasts all day. I've worn this for 12 hours straight. And did it fade a little bit? Yes, but did it still show up on my skin by the end of the day? Absolutely. So this I absolutely love. Highly recommend this. If you either love cream blush or you're new to cream blush and you want to try something out that's really great but really affordable, I would highly recommend this. Seriously, it's so beautiful, so awesome, pigmented, not sheer, not too opaque, right in the middle, just all the good stuff that you want in a cream blush. And I also have their powder brush. This is the AOA Studio Perfect Blush, and I have the shade Euphoria. This powder blush I'm also loving. It's a really nice and creamy powder blush. It's definitely not the most opaque and it's not the most sheer. It almost reminds me of like the Patrick Ta blushes where they're kind of in the middle and you can really build them up how you want. This is really great. It's just a really simple, nice blush. Again, if you just want a really cute blush that's gonna last all day with a great variety of shades, I would highly recommend this. Okay, I know I said I had a top 3, but that was a lie. It's actually like a top 5 favorite products. I guess I just like forgot about things. But the next product is a total favorite of mine as well. This is the AOA Studio Lip Pop Gloss, and I have the shade City Girl. This lip gloss I absolutely love. It's one of those lip glosses that is like super opaque, but not that shiny, if that makes sense. If you have ever tried the Wet n Wild Catsuit High Shine Liquid Lipsticks, those are super similar to what this is. So it's not that shiny, but it's definitely still glossy, but it just has a gorgeous opaque color. It's what I'm wearing on my lips today. This shade in particular is a really nice, sort of like a mauve-y pinky nude, if that makes sense, but I love this. I've been wearing this for probably like 5 hours. It stays really well, and it's overall just beautiful. I have another 2 lip products. So this is the AOA Studio Oh Honey Lip Oil, and then I have the Beauty Treats Lip Care in their avocado shade. I was gonna say shade, you guys know what I'm talking about. So both of these are awesome. Both of these are great for hydrating the lips. I looked up the ingredients and honestly they're mostly just like a mineral oil. But that being said, I really love these both. They're both super glossy, including the chapstick. This is like a super glossy chapstick, and it reminds me a lot of the Laneige Gloss Bombs, I believe they're called. Not the lip mask, but the ones that are in this similar tube, and I love this both. This especially I love. Using this on a daily, I like to put like a nude lip liner all over, and then I'll just go in with this, and it's just like a beautiful nude glossy color that looks so good. Both of these are just awesome. Last up for the makeup, I have their Slim Brow Pencils. These are $1 each, and no surprise, I love these. I feel like brow pencils, I'm not really that difficult to please. As long as they're like the really thin tip, I pretty much like them. These are great. The color payoff, it's not too opaque, it's not too sheer. It really gives like a great natural looking brow, and I have the shades dark brown and medium brown, and overall I really like these. I'm really pleased with these. They're basically the same thing as the Morphe ones, and those are $5, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like convert and just use these from now on once I'm done with those. All right, that is it for the makeup. Now let's move into all of the brushes and tools, and I swear I will be quick with these. So I'm gonna start with two sponges. This is the Paw Wonder Blender Super Soft, and then this is their regular Wonder Blender, but in like the mini size. So what I will say is that this is incredible. Now, if you want to get this on the site, make sure you get the Super Soft Wonder Blender and not the regular one, because these are definitely two different like materials, I guess. And this one's just incredible. I think it's $155 because it's part of the Paw line, which is a charity line, and this is amazing. I usually use my Eco Tool sponge, the green one, and that's usually like $4 to $5, and sometimes it's on sale. But this is $155, and this is incredible. Like, I don't think I'll even go back to paying $4 for my Eco Tool sponge. This is amazing. This is better than a beauty blender. I'm saying it. Do not spend $20 on a beauty blender when you can get this for $1.55. It's seriously incredible. And they sell it in a pack of 5 or 6, I believe. But yeah, this is amazing. It doesn't soak up too much product. It's super soft. The end of it is actually pretty flat. It's much more flat than like a regular beauty blender, and it's just amazing. It blends out everything incredibly, and not much that I really have more to say about this except that I love it. And then this is the mini sponge. This is all right. Again, this is like a different material, and it's not as soft as this one. It's pretty good for blending out concealer, but it's just okay. I definitely think that if you're gonna get a sponge, you should definitely go with the Super Soft Wonder Blender and not the regular ones. So next up, I have two brush blender accessories, I guess you wanna call it. This is their sponge cleanser. This is the Argan Oil Sponge Soap, especially made for the sponge. And then this is like their color switch. I'm not exactly sure what this is called, but obviously I'll leave all the links and everything in the description box. If you ever tried the Veramoda, I think it's called, color switch from Sephora, this is basically the same exact thing. It just has this sort of like sponge-ish, I guess. I'm not sure what this is, but basically, you just put your brush into it and it'll get all the remnants in it. It's definitely better for powder. But yeah, this is great. For $1, this is amazing. Definitely works better for like eyeshadows and colored powders versus creams, but this is great, and you should definitely not spend like 18 to 20 bucks on the Veramoda one or whatever it's called, because there's a lot of products like this that are like way more expensive. This is literally the same thing, and it's $1, and it's great. And here I have the Argan Oil Soap Sponge. So this is especially for their Paw sponge, and I think this is pretty good. I mean, for $1, it's great. I did use this right before I filmed this video because I want to show you guys how well it worked. So as you can see here, there's definitely still some remnants into the sponge. So it works pretty well for getting all of sort of like the exterior dirt and grime and foundation and whatever else out, but it doesn't like deep clean the sponge. That being said, I also have the Beauty Blender Solid Cleanser, and when I use that, it definitely gets every last remnants out of the sponge. But again, I mean, for $1, it's pretty good. All right, now let's move on to all the brushes. So I have about 9 brushes that I got. They're sold in singles. They have sets of like 10, 20, and then they also sell duos. So I got 2 duos. And again, I don't know the exact names of these, so I'm gonna put everything down below in the description box in the order that I go through everything in. So the first 2, these are both like duo fiber brushes. And warning, none of the brushes are going to be clean because I literally used I used every single one of them to do my makeup today. So these are the AOA Studio F6, that's the big one, and then E106. This brush is incredible. This might be my favorite. Yeah, this is my favorite brush out of everything. It's just so great for buffing out cream contour, cream blush. It's so big, so it does it so quick. Like I literally did my cream contour today. You literally just have to tap it like for 2 seconds and it's all blended in beautifully. You don't even have to go in with the sponge to blend it in because it's just such a great job. This one is great too. This one I got for my nose, not necessarily to blend in a cream contour because it's not like stiff enough for that, but this is great for when sometimes like I overdo my nose contour, so I can just sort of like go like this and just buff everything out. And this is just a great detailed brush. Again, if you overdo something, if my cheek is a little too much, my highlight is too much, my blush is too much, you can just go in really precisely and buff everything out. And then the other duo I got is this duo. This I got specifically for cream contour. As you can see, they're both angled really nicely. The big one is the F9 and the smaller one is the E109. So I love both of these. I especially love the little one because this shape is just so incredible for a nose contour. It gets right in there and you just can drag the lines so easily. This brush is great, and this brush I use for my cheeks. Both of these are fantastic. And then the rest of the brushes I got are all sold in singles. I believe these brushes that come in the duos are also sold in singles also, and I don't think there's like a price difference whether you buy them together or not. So first up, I have the AOA F15. This is a great paddle brush. I feel like I'm the only person who still uses paddle foundation brushes, but I just love paddle foundation brushes. It's super easy. I usually apply my foundation, then I go in with the sponge. It's always like a flawless coverage whenever I use one of these types of brushes, and I love this one. Then I also got their AOA Studio E113. I got this as a concealer brush. They had another concealer brush, but I believe it was sold out, so I ended up getting this. And I think this is marketed or named as like a flat eyeshadow brush, but I love this for concealer. It's like the perfect size. It's also great. I use this to do my eyeshadow today as well with the gel eyeshadow from them. This is a great multi-purpose brush. It's just like a great shape and a great size. Then I got two eye brushes. I got a pencil brush, and then I just got a flat brush. So the pencil brush is the E116 and the flat brush is the E115. Both of these are great. I used the flat one today to do my gel liner on my lower lash line, and this I've used to do my upper liner, and again, both of these are fantastic. And then the last brush I have to share with you is the F19. This is a total dupe for that Anastasia brush that everyone loves to highlight. This is their highlighted brush. It's perfect. It's like the perfect size. It's the perfect fluffiness. It's not like too dense, and it's just incredible. And overall, I can certainly say that I just love all of these brushes. I mean, for $1, you can't go wrong. Try them out. I definitely think that they are the same exact quality as Morphe brushes, and those brushes kind of range, I guess, from $10 to $20 each. So these are fantastic. Will I say they're as good as Ciroc brushes or even MAC brushes? I think MAC brushes these could compete with, but obviously they're not as good as super high-end brushes. They're definitely on the same par as like Morphe brushes, and again, these are all $1 each, and they are just fantastic. All right, if you have made it to this point in the video, thank you so much. I can already anticipate that this video will probably be very long. I know I spoke about so many products in today's video, but if you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up, and if you are interested in purchasing any of the products I spoke about today, let me know in the comments. I always love seeing what you guys are interested in, what you guys are going to be purchasing, so on and so forth. And again, that is it for today, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!